Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, we had some NASCAR news come out yesterday. Came out January 31st. So we found out in a press release, and then they talked about it on next NASCAR Satellite Radio, that starting this year in 2023, the Cup Series no longer has the top 30 rule in points. So what that was is, for example, if Corey LaJoie last year would have won at Atlanta, he was 31st in points, he would not have made the playoffs. So up until this point, you've had to be the top 30 in points and a win to be eligible for the playoffs. And then Xfinity and Truck, it was top 20. So they have abolished that. So as long as you attempt to qualify for all races, unless you have a NASCAR granted waiver and you win a race, you're eligible for the playoffs. I could take it or leave it. It's never happened. I don't think it'll ever happen. But the fact that we made a rule for it because it almost happened, yeah, it's okay, fine, whatever. Like I said on Dave Moody's on Speedway, what I want to see happen now is I want to see 16 different winners, one of them 31st in points, regular season champion, not have a win. Let's make a rule for that. But, I mean, overall, I can take it or leave it. I don't see it making a difference. I think we're going to have 18 to 20 winners in 2023. We're probably going to have 16 to 17 in the regular season, so it's not going to make a difference. Now, do I want somebody like a Corey LaJoie or somebody like that, Ty Dillon, or whomever is, regardless where we're at, we have 36 charters. We have 34 drivers, as I'm maybe 35 right now, running full-time. Somebody has to be 31st, 32nd, 33rd, 34th, and 35th. Regardless. It could be anybody, but somebody has to be there because there's that many full-time drivers. If one of those gets a win, okay, we'll approach it then to see what happens. One of the other newsworthy things was the Hail Melon, the wall crawl, whatever you want to call it, the Ross Chastain Martinsville move has been banned. I get the idea behind it. No one ever thought about it until Ross did it. People have done it on video games for years, but no one ever thought about trying it in real life. Ross tried it. Ross got in the Final Four because of it. Because of what could have happened, he could have hit the gate. It would have been Mike Harmon, Michael Waltrip at Bristol all over again. And pieces of the car could have gotten into the crowd. I get why they went ahead and banned it, but it's like, no one else is going to do it because it destroyed the race car. It's hundreds of $1,000s damage to that race car. That now, I love the fact that Trackhouse and Justin decided to, they're not going to fix it. They're going to put it on display. So, Justin Marks, I'm like, that's kind of cool if they're going to do that. The fact that Martinsville still hasn't painted the wall, they're letting people in to see it, the wall. Martinsville's going to put that in the video package, so is NASCAR, but it's banned. I mean, come on, guys, I get it. Just like the pass. I'm sorry, it wasn't a pass in the grass. It was the save in the grass. Dale and Bill at Charlotte. You can't go below the white line now. We all know what happened with Brad Keselowski and Carl Edwards. Brad wasn't lifting, and we all know what happened there. So there's been things like that all the time. The 1979 Daytona 500. Come on. When does that happen since the fighting in turn 4? Come on. But, I get it. It's fine. No one else was going to do it, so it's all good with that. Stage breaks on road courses. No more. So no caution for stage show. Say the race is 100 laps. We have lap 30, lap 60 of the two stages. They'll award points for the top 10. They play a point for whoever is leading at that point, plus the 10 points. No organic caution. I want to see how it's going to happen. I'm open-minded when it comes to NASCAR stuff, especially in the last, I would say, 10 years. But when I first heard this, I was like, I wonder how that's going to work. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see someone have a 15, 20-second lead and just be distinct to show up. I don't want to see, a Chase Elliott or AJ Allmendinger or somebody like that go out there at Sonoma and just almost lap the field. Yeah, it's like If we have something like that, then it's like, okay, that's going to be a different story. But right now, I get it. I mean, those caution laps, just like Road America, holy hell. I know with the standalone Xfinity truck, they're not, they're still going to have them because they do non-competitive pit stops. So, for example, Portland, the Portland Road Course for Xfinity trucks and Cup are in Gateway at the time. So they're going to have basically non-pit crew people technically pitting the cars. So it's not going to be competitive. Literally, you stop the race, everybody changes tires, everybody fuels the gas, does whatever adjustments, and then everyone goes out together. Those will stay the same. This is just on the Cup, any combination event. So Sonoma will have Cup and Xfinity, so this will happen there. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm open-minded enough to take a look at it and see, hey, how's the race flow now? We know in the past crew chiefs would run the race in reverse, which is a big thing that everyone does. So basically figure out, okay, we can go 50 laps on pit stop, for example. It's 150, there's 130 laps. You take the 130, maybe you add an extra 5 just in case you have a green white checker, you back it up your pit stops, and that's when you start your pit stops. We'll see what happens. The wheel penalty, I really like this actually. So under yellow, if a tire comes off on pit road, you just basically put the tire back on, go to the end of the tail end of the line. If you're on pit road under green, it's treated like just a loose tire. You go to the pass-through penalty. If it happens on track, so from yellow line to yellow line pit road, when it happens outside of that, it is 2-lap penalty, which I think should have done last year. A 2-race suspension for 2 crew members by NASCAR's choosing. So, for example, if the tire changer puts the lug on, hits it, the jackman, not paying attention, drops the jack as he turns to drop. He drops the jack, and the guy takes off, and NASCAR was like, it wasn't the tire changer's fault, it was the jackman's fault. He's one of 2. My guess is both of them. My guess is if they're going to suspend 2, I don't know if the actual rule says up to 2 or if it says 2. But at least the crew chiefs, suspending crew chiefs doesn't mean anything in 2023. There's so much technology out there. They're sitting in a war room with their feet up, communicating with everyone still. But I do like the fact they're not in 4-race suspension. It's not for the crew chief. If it's on pit road, they're going to take that into consideration. I like that. The DVP, the damaged vehicle policy clock, goes from 6 minutes to 7 minutes. It was 10 during the playoffs. At 7 they kind of went back to. That's literally from the time you pull in. So say, for example, you spin out and turn 4, hit the wall. The 7-minute clock begins as soon as you cross the white line and begin pit road. And you drive down to your pit, you park, and drive out of the pit. So whatever that takes to drive out of your pit, you have that amount of time. Now, if they got to change the tow link, or if there's whatever damage, you have to come in, they do whatever, you go back out. Once you leave pit road, the clock stops. So if it takes you 15 seconds to get to your pit stall, you work for 3 minutes, takes you 15 seconds to leave your pit stall, that's 3.5 minutes. You still have 3.5 minutes on the DVP, so you can come back in if you need to. Once it goes back to green and you get up to minimum speed, that goes away. Then you can work on a car all you want. We saw, I think, a couple times last year where they bent the tow link, and there was a couple drivers who were able to get up to speed, clear their DVP, and then they came in and worked on it. Apparently, you can't have specialized equipment on pit road now to work on it. Just regular old tools. You can't change the control arm, I think they said in that. Which, that's fine. If you get that much damage, you probably should go behind the wall and be done for the day. Unlike back in the day where they would basically duct tape on body panels to get the car back out there. Wet weather package for short tracks and road courses. We are not going to race in monsoons, people. We're not going to go to Richmond and race in a monsoon. The idea behind this is, say, for example, it takes 60 minutes to dry Richmond International Raceway. So instead of waiting till it's a bone 100% dry, so after maybe 30 minutes, you throw the wet weather tires on, you go out there, you run a few laps, it starts drying out, everybody kind of does their own little thing about pit strategy, when to put on the slicks. Think about an IndyCar race. They do the same thing. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't want to race in a monsoon like we did Coda that first year. But if it's just because it's wet and you're waiting to dry the track, it gets us going a half hour earlier, like Loudon didn't have lights. You kind of need that. So it's another one of the things. We'll see what happens. Then the restart zone is widening 25 foot or something for the first 5 races. Okay. I don't really think that's going to matter in just watching a race. I think where that's going to matter is when whoever's leading, it gives them a little bit more to either lay off the throttle or get onto it quicker, so they can so whoever's on the outside can not necessarily realize when they're doing it to get a little advantage. Choose your rule on super speedways and dirt track. Okay. Super speedway, I mean, that's fine. I get it. I mean, I'd like to choose rule. I think it's kind of cool actually, but the fact you're going to have Daytona, there's going to be caution with 10 to go. Everybody's going to come in and get tires. You're going to have certain manufacturers all Chevrolets go high, or all Chevrolets go low. And then you're going to have Ford doing the opposite, and Toyota mixed in. So you're going to have the manufacturers and teammates kind of trying to get together, which, hey, that's fine. I don't think we're going to really notice it. I think it's going to be like, oh, they're working together. But yeah, it's either here or there. And then we bring in back the Dash for Cash and Xfinity Series. Coda will be the qualifying race, and then Richmond on April 1st, Martinsville, Talladega, and Dover, so the month of April. The winner of each race, I think it's $100,000, and if you win all 4, you get $1 million or something like that. I know a couple years ago, Noah Gragson swept them all almost. And then with the Craftsman Truck Series, we're going to bring back the Triple Truck Challenge. Qualifying will be at North Wilkesboro, and then the first race is at Charlotte, the 600 weekend, then at Gateway and Nashville, which I'm excited about. Basically, what this means for the Dash for Cash and the Triple Truck Challenge, no Cup driver can race in any of those races. So, for example, on the Dash for Cash, you have to be running for Xfinity title, so you have to qualify points for Xfinity Series to be able to be in those races. Truck Series the same way. So, Rajah Caruth, he is running for Truck Series, so he can't run those Xfinity races. I don't believe so, because he's running for Truck Series points. Ty Gibbs can't run either one of those because he's running for Cup Series points, which is fine with me. Actually, I'm kind of excited about that. I'm actually going to Gateway this year, and I'm really kind of excited that we don't have a lot of Cup guys in that truck race, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, this is kind of the news of the week. Each and every week, I'm going to do the preview of each race: NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR Xfinity, NASCAR Camping World, Craftsman Truck Series. As we get closer to Daytona, I'll have a season preview and a playoff prediction show. And then throughout the NASCAR season, we'll do some different topics, things that come up, maybe a recap of each weekend or something. But yeah, lots of content in NASCAR coming to the channel, along with pro wrestling, football. As you've seen so far in 2023, I've done a lot of videos so far, a lot of pro wrestling related videos, maybe guess from NASCAR ones as well. I got some champion profile series I want to finish up. If you go to the main page of Rubber Sports Show, if you go down where the playlists are, there's actually a playlist for NASCAR topics, for let's pull it up here. Alright, so we got the first playlist is the preview for each race, and we have the topic for NASCAR topics, the champion profile series, the driver profile series, the countdown series I did last off season that I will bring back next off season as well. If you're a pro wrestling fan, we got Showcase of the Independents, we got pro wrestling topics, previews and reviews of pro wrestling show. I have a review of NXT Vengeance Day coming up, and a preview of that as well. If you are, again, wrestling fan, WrestleMania weekend shows, there's a bunch of independent shows on WrestleMania weekend, the last couple days in March and the first weekend in April, and then CFL, XFL, and USFL, college, and then NFL. So those are all the playlists there on Robert Sports Show on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. Follow me here on Twitter as well at Rob Sports Show. That's going to wrap up the topic video of the week for NASCAR. We will get up the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum preview coming up shortly. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports channel content.